Yo guys, right now we have new limited merch over on Teespring, and I just revamped my Patreon with some brand new perks, early thumbnail access, as well as a surprise charm every month. Also, I stream Best Team for Radical Red right here. Sub the Zora for Best Team for Radical Red Let's Play, episode 1's up by the way. Sage, anime. Follow me on my socials, especially Insta and TikTok. I'm getting really active out there. You may even get subtle hints for videos and cute pet photos. All these will be in the description below and in the iCard above. Wow, we have come such a long way, but here we are at the penultimate typing in this top 10 series. We're talking all about the water typing today, the largest in the franchise, and thanks to being such a loaded typing, there's over 100 Pokemon we have to choose from this list. Next, we'll be handling the normal types to bring this series to a conclusion, and I'm really looking forward to it. This is such a subjective list I've got for you today, due to how large of a typing we're dealing with. So bear with me if my views don't line up 100% with yours. I personally believe that these are the strongest water types, but quite frankly, I can completely understand if you guys don't agree. Now, let's take a dive into the deep end of this pool and view what I believe is a splendid top 10 water type list. So opening up the top 10 is a bit of a different Pokemon than what I've been using lately. So this one isn't in the 8th generation, but I feel that back in the 7th generation, it was a really underrated Pokemon. Manafee is your run-of-the-mill mythical with base 100 stats across the board, which is the sign of a Pokemon that can basically do whatever you want it to. If for some crazy reason you'd want to make Manafee a physical attacker, I guess you could do that, though it doesn't make much sense. Though, the smart thing to do would be to run with the special attacking set, as its move pool lends itself a lot more to special attacks. It's got hydration for an ability, which will heal it in the rain, so if you choose to run Rain Dance on Manafee, that's not the worst deal. Plus, in its most recent appearance, it had access to Tail Glow, which raised its special attack by 3 stages. That meant moves like Surf, Ice Beam, and Dazzling Gleam were all hitting very hard. There really isn't anything else to say about Manafee, other than what I have. It's a rather boring Pokemon on the surface, but in my opinion, it is underrated and definitely one of the top water types. Next up, we've got none other than the guardian deity of Pony Island, the land spirit Pokemon, Tapuffini. It's a fairy and water type, and it serves as the majorly defensive Pokemon of the deities. Its stats line show us 115 base defense and 130 base special defense, along with a relatively decent 95 base special attack. Its ability creates the Misty Terrain, which prevents Pokemon from being put to sleep or confused, and also halves the damage done by any Dragon-type move. So, I know perhaps having dragon damage doesn't mean much of anything to Tapuffini, but that sleep preventing aspect is huge in a few ways. When we look at its move pool, 2 incredibly hard hitters in its stab are Hydro Pump and Moonblast. Those are a duo of great moves that will cave in non-defensively sound Pokemon 9 times out of 10. As for moves that serve a purpose when it comes to coverage, there's Ice Beam for the grass types, the Calm Mind Stored Power combo for poison types, and of course Shadow Ball for all your ghost type attack needs. Feeny is a bit of a tank in a lot of circumstances, and I felt that was enough to catapult it onto the top 10. Also, don't sleep on it having telepathy for an ability in doubles with a teammate using Discharge. Totally meta-breaking, guys. So, coming up, we have the first of 3 Dragon Water types on this list, which I think about confirms how good of a typing combo that is. I'm gonna guess, more than likely, some of you are super excited to see Kendra on the list, while others are gonna be like, what? This over Kabutops? Are you nuts? Well, let me explain how it got in over Manafee, Tapuffini, and a slew of other water types. See, like I said, that typing is so super good. It's got just 2 weaknesses to dragon and fairy types, and no times for weakness at all, which is very nice. It's also resistant to steel, water, and fire types, which each are relatively good attack typings. Swift Swim and Sniper, its 2 abilities, are each great under different circumstances depending on the composition of your team and how you choose to run Kendra. If you want to focus on making it fast and are running a rain team, then go ahead and take advantage of its base 85 speed stat to the best of your ability. You can take its 95 special attack and physical attack and just hit hard with whatever moveset you've set up. Its defenses are both base 95 as well, so if you choose not to max out its speed in some way, it's got a good shot of taking a few hits. If you choose to run Sniper, which causes moves that hit for a critical hit to be even stronger, it makes running a Scope Lens Kendra very viable, if not niche. There's moves ranging from Hydro Pump and Dragon Pulse to Flash Cannon and Hurricane that Kendra can take major advantage of, and that's just on the special side. Kendra is a tremendously good Pokemon, and in the rain, with Swift Swim, is just next level great. Alrighty then, we're going to be talking about an absolute OG here at number 7, and that's the atrocious Pokemon, Gyarados. The surface shows simplicity with Gyarados, 125 base attack and 100 base special defense being the two premier stats on it. If you focus on the power here, then you'll understand why it's here on the list. It's got two insanely good abilities, and first, we'll talk Intimidate. Since Gyarados is more specially defensive, it's nice to have a way to supplement its lower defense by bringing down the opponent's attack stat. Now, as if acting as the opposite of Intimidate, there's Moxie, which just might be the best of the three. Every Pokemon that is getting knocked out, it's going to be giving Gyarados a nice boost to its attack. So, while Gyarados can't Mega Evolve anymore, it's got the stats and an ability to make the most of its destructive nature. As for its move pool, let's highlight Dragon Dance to start things off. Just one usage of Dragon Dance will give Gyarados a boost to its attack and speed, immediately making stronger while helping the lagging speed catch up to the rest of Gyarados' greatness. When it comes to weaknesses, Gyarados is majorly done in by electric types and rock types as well, but thankfully it has Earthquake to turn to, which will really do in just about anything. As for Water Stab, there's Liquidation and Waterfall, while also you see Bounce that serves as Flying type stab, though that's about the best option there is for it. For coverage, we've got Iron Head, Stone Edge, and Power Whip among a slew of special moves, though I didn't think it was worth focusing on those too much. In the end, Gyarados is a damn fine Pokemon that was definitely deserving of entering this top 10. You know, there's a lot of repeat dual typings on this list you'll come to see, and we've got one right now with our second Water Fairy type, Azumarol. This thing is really good, you guys, with the ability Huge Power doubling its attack stat. That's a massive part of what made Azumarol into a popular, powerful option when it gained the Fairy typing back in Generation 6. So while its base 50 attack doesn't seem like much, Huge Power can come together with max attack to give Azumarol 436 attack. It has a really great stat line for something with the moves that Azumarol has, and considering it's a little bit bulky, with 100 HP and 80 defenses, it's quite capable of taking a few hits and just smashing back. Now, the main issue is 50 base speed, which can really only be supplemented with a Toy Scarf. Now, if you're feeling at all risky, but looking for a big payoff, you can run out into battle with Belly Drum on your Azumarol and give it a nice Citrus Berry. That would result in a maxed out attack stat that's just too over the top, and will essentially result in one-hitting everything. Now, one-hitting with what exactly? Well, think Play Rough and Liquidation. Two strong stab moves that absolutely are scary. To be fair, that's about it. But Azumarol makes up for not having a wide amount of coverage with its asinine attack stat. That's why it's here, right outside of the top 5, ahead of so many other Pokemon. It's one of the strongest water types, thanks in part to its Fairy typing and ability. So let's kick off the top 5 with the second of our 3 Dragon-type Pokemon that have appeared on this list. Sword and Shield's Dracovish. At this point, this shouldn't come as a surprise to see it here, but I do just want to amend something real quick. You see, back on the Dragon-type list, I actually made the claim that Dracovish was better than Palkia. However, at this point, I sort of want to retract that, because while Dracovish is in fact extremely good, I feel Palkia actually outclasses it just a bit. We'll talk more about Palkia later though. For now, let's talk about this powerful fossil. Its two typings coming together is actually fantastic for Dracovish, as it limits its weaknesses to just other dragons and fairy types. Now, admittedly, its stat pool isn't the most incredible out there, with 100 defense being the highlight of everything, though it does have a decent 90 HP and 90 attack as well. There is room for a little bit of physical bulk here, and obviously a chance to bite back. And its ability Strong Jaws provides a great chance to take a bite out of the opponent. It's got access to a move called Vicious Rend, and when used, if Dracovish attacks first in battle, the base power of the move shoots up to 170. And when you add in Stab to that, it'll go up further to 255 base power. Though it wouldn't stop there, as it'll get another big boost from Strong Jaw that will give it a massive base power of 382. This isn't even including it being used in the rain or for having a choice band on. But having all this will make it one of the best wall breakers of all time in Pokemon, and it's still just here at number 5. Now, I'm making this up to you guys who weren't the happiest campers on the poison type list. We've got Toxipex here in our top 5, walling its way past so many other Pokemon. The point is, 152 defense and 142 special defense is almost impossible to get past by regular means. Toxipex may only have base 50 HP, but if you have ever been in a battle with one, you know that it just seemingly tanks every hit, super effective or otherwise. It's got a few weaknesses to typings, like Electric, Ground, and Psychic, but also 8 very nice resistances to strong typings, including Fairy and Steel. Its ability is Regenerator, which you guys know is one of the best abilities in the franchise, and offers viable recovery to Toxipex if it switches out of battle and comes back in. It might be slow, and it might not be much of an attacker, but really, Toxipex proves that the best defense is a good offense. Baneful Bunker is the best for Toxipex, and it's essentially a super powered version of Protect. If a Pokemon makes physical contact with Toxipex, when it uses Baneful Bunker, it's going to be poisoned. Toxipex is able to set up some toxic spikes so it can poison the opposing Pokemon, even without having to rely on Baneful Bunker. It can always heal with Recover and set up Substitute. So really, Toxipex is just the face of being a wall. Toxipex is a top 5 option at its typing, without even actually being notable in any way as an attacker. Now, we're going to be wrapping up the Dragon Water types of this list with the aforementioned Palkia. So, Palkia is a really tremendous Pokemon, with the weaknesses to merely Dragon and Fairy, which it can pretty much handle. See, it's got base 150 special attack, which is one of the highest we're seeing on this list. And that's a big part of what earned it a spot up here. The only boring part of Palkia is its abilities, being Pressure and Telepathy. Now look, I know I made a bit of a joke earlier on Tapuffini's entry with Telepathy, but honestly, it's a bad ability. However, aside from the 150 base attack, Palkia has 120 special defense and 100 defense, as well as 100 speed. Palkia's resistances are of course just water, fire, and steel. But considering how many typings are neutral, it's going to be able to take a majority of hits really well with the bulk it has. The moves on Palkia are headlined by its signature move, Spatial Rend. It's incredibly strong at 100 base power, and of course, it's Stab, so it'll get even stronger. Perhaps what is even more exciting about it as a move is the fact that it has a high critical hit ratio, so it's got tons of potential to just do major damage with that move alone. The other moves it can use include Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, and Fire Blast, which play into its special attack being so high. However, if you're feeling different, you can always go in on Bulk Up and run moves like Liquidation, Earthquake, and Dragon Claw. The point here is, Palkia is so strong and has such a varied move pool that it can be used just about any way you want to attain great results. The opportunities to take hits and outspeed opponents while rocking out with that 150 base special attack spells well for it in any battle. Wow. For a second time, this Pokemon finds itself in the penultimate spot of one of its typings. It didn't make it in the Sword and Shield, yet even then, I can't deny the greatness of Greninja. Back with the releases of the Isle of Armor DLC for Pokemon Sword and Shield, we finally got the hidden abilities for the starters in Generation 8, one of these being Libero for the Cinderace line. Libero will change Cinderace's typing to whatever move it uses in battle. And while that's a pretty impressive ability, Greninja was the original starter to have an ability like that with Protean. That's honestly a massive reason why Greninja is so high on this ranking. Greninja starts as a Dark Water type Pokemon, and without Protean as an ability, stays as one. But the fact is that it can be any typing it wants to be, and that is a massive deal for any Pokemon. you're suddenly turning any move you use into a stab one, thus giving you access to stronger moves than the rest of the field. Greninja has 103 special attack and 95 attack, both being very solid and clear proof that you could run Greninja any way you really want it. And with that 122 base speed, you can assume you're going to outspeed plenty of Pokemon. Greninja's move pool is massive and filled with moves from almost every different typing, opening it up to be the ultimate Swiss Army knife of coverage. It's more than deserving of being at the top of this list. But there is just one Pokemon that represents the water type better. Closing us out here today, we've got a slight mirror to our ground type list, which featured Groudon standing tall above all other ground types. Well, in this case, we've got Kyogre, serving as the king of the sea, and floating right at the top of this massive pool of Pokemon. I'm sure you guys may have seen this coming from a mile away, so let's be honest here. There just isn't a better water type. Its Drizzle ability is already a top flight ability for any water type, but then you go and give it major special bulk with 100 base HP and 140 special defense, as well as 150 base special attack. It's just inhumane for a Pokemon to be so perfectly set up to succeed. Its move pool works in tandem with that Drizzle ability, offering several water type moves like the signature Origin Pulse, Scald, and Hydro Pump, which will each get boosted majorly in the rain set up by Drizzle. Perhaps what's even more exciting is Thunder, which can't miss in the rain and thus will absolutely crush certain Pokemon. As you guys know, the water typing just has two weaknesses, to Grass and Electric, and Kyogre can handle both of those easily. You can pull out Earthquake for the electric types if you choose to run a mixed attacker, and Ice Beam on those grass types, which will really hurt them. Perhaps, most importantly, Kyogre can access Calm Mind, and thus it can become even stronger with these boosts to its special stats. It's a very basic answer, but a clear and concise one. Kyogre is the top tier of the largest typing in all of Pokemon, and that's a crown it's worn since Pokemon Sapphire. Gosh, and to think it doesn't even use Primal Reversion anymore. Well, that's going to do it for the second to last typing top 10. The water typing is overflowing with great Pokemon, but these 10 were definitely the best of the best in my eyes. I couldn't even deny Greninja or Manafee despite them not making it in the Sword and Shield. That's just how good they are. I guess a small honorable mention I also wanted to give was the Suicune. I was kind of arguing between Suicune and Manafee being on the list, but Manafee primarily made it here due to its hydration. But in the end, if you want Suicune on here, I guess it's definitely arguable. But anyway, next up, we've got normal types, the final typing before we bring this series to a close, so be on the lookout for that. So with that said, thank you to everyone for watching the video. Huge thanks to my phenomenal team and the amazing art done each week by Danny the Demon. I couldn't do all this without them. If you all enjoyed the video and want to see more content like this, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Be sure to leave a comment too, as it really helps us out. I also do other content on my Twitch, where I stream Genshin Impact, Mystic Zora, where I do Pokemon Let's Plays and other gaming content, and of course MysticSage, where I do all anime content. Right now, I'm focusing on Inuyasha and Yashahime, so if you're interested in that, be sure to check it out. If you'd like to support me even further than that, check out my Patreon. Whether it's a $1 tip to get early thumbnail access, or the $10 tier to get cool Perler bead charms and a shout out. There's tons of reasons to join today. These lovely people did, and I thank them all so much for their support. It really means the world to me. I think I'm gonna wrap this up though. I'm Mr. Umbreon, and I will see you all next time with some more amazing Pokemon content.